Hello, my name is Ali Raza, and today I'll be talking about Life of Pi, and I'll tell you why this book should be the CKSS Reads 2016 champion. But before I start, I want to give you a small summary about the book. Life of Pi is a story about an Indian boy named Pisan Patel who is known as Pi to his family and friends. His father owns a zoo and tries to make sure that his two boys never go too close to the animals, but really that doesn't work out for him because his son is stranded on a boat with 4 other animals later on, but we're gonna get to that. During his youth, Pi is exposed to different religions including Christianity and Islam, both of which he decides to embrace along with his original religion, Hinduism. Something that religious leaders don't really accept, but his family did accept. When he's a teenager, his family decides to move to Canada along with their animals on board a cargo ship called Simsum. The ship ends up sinking, which leaves Pi stranded on a lifeboat with a zebra, a hyena, an orangutan, and a tiger called Richard Parker. Eventually, the hyena kills both the zebra and the orangutan, leaving only the hyena, Richard Parker, and Pi. Later on, Richard Parker kills the hyena, so now we just have Pi and Richard Parker stranded on a boat in the middle of the Pacific. Pi tries his best to make sure that both of them stay alive by establishing himself as the alpha tiger and trying to tame Richard Parker. During their journey, there's a point where Pi goes blind and meets another castaway who tries to attack Pi, but instead is killed by Richard Parker. After several months, they end up on an island full of meerkats and seaweed, and both of them think they can stay alive, but really it doesn't work out that way because we find out that the island is carnivorous, so both of them have to leave the island. They end up on the beach of Mexico, where Richard Parker leaves Pi and goes into the jungle without saying goodbye, something that really upsets Pi, who is later saved by a group of men who take him to the village and later to a hospital, where he's met by 2 other men who represent the cargo company that owned the Simsum. They ask him questions, and Pi tells them the real story, which they don't believe, so instead Pi tells them a different story that involves humans instead of animals. They accept the story and leave. Pi eventually moves to Canada, where he has family, and the story ends that way. Now Pi is an ambitious kid. Really, he is ambitious. When he was in school, he was bullied because of his name, and he was called pissing and stuff, and instead of going in the corner and crying about it, he took a stand. Every single one of his classes goes to the board and writes out Pi 3.14. He writes out Pi in every single one of his classes over and over again until that becomes his name, because he wanted people to call him Pi instead of what they kept on calling him. One example. Second example, him being in the ocean. Pi was in the ocean with a tiger in a boat for 227 days. 227 days. Put yourself in that position. You wouldn't survive. Nobody would. Really. Chances are you would give up because difficulty getting food, difficulty with getting water, and you have a tiger in the boat with you. So chances are you would give up, but Pi doesn't. Pi keeps on going until eventually he ends up in a beach in Mexico and he's saved. Let's talk about the color orange. The color orange plays a really important role in this novel, because really everything orange gives Pi hope or is a reason for Pi to survive or keep on trying to survive. Let's start off with the tiger, Richard Parker. He's an orange tiger, obviously. Initially, Pi's afraid of him, but really, as this story goes on, we see that Pi sees the tiger as a reason to survive, as a reason to keep on going. Then there's Orange Juice, the orangutan. When Pi sees the orangutan, he's happy because the orangutan gives him hope that okay, there's somebody that I love, there's somebody that's gonna help me survive in this case. And there's the orange life jacket that Pi got with the orange whistle. All these things that helps Pi survive. So really, the color orange is really important and really significant as it represents survival and hope. Another important thing that I wanted to talk about, and really I mentioned this before, is the number 227. Now, I mentioned this before as the number of days that Pi survived, but really there's something more important about this number. It symbolizes Pi himself. 227, or 22 divided by 7, is an approximate number that equals to 3.14, which is Pi's nickname. I'll give you 2 reasons why Life of Pi is the perfect example of metafiction. First of all, Pi himself is telling the entire story of his life to another person. for story inside a story. There's a story of these two characters meeting, then there's a story of Pi telling this story to this person. Second example, the person to whom Pi is telling the story is the author. So the author is in the story, and really at some points he speaks to us directly, talking to us about the life of Pi in the present. The Mr. Kumars. There's one who was the biology teacher of Pi, and the other one was Pi's Muslim mentor. Both of them were really different. The first way they were different was obvious. One was a Muslim, he followed a religion and believed in God, and there was another one who didn't follow any religion, was an atheist and believed in science, and really everything could be explained with logic. Another way these two were different was that one lived a simple life. He lived in a bakery, and really the other one, and he had never been to a zoo. The first one, the Muslim one, had never been to a zoo, and the only time he ever went to a zoo was with Pi, and that was the time where he met the other Mr. Kumar. The other Mr. Kumar, however, was a fancy person. He had been to the zoo a lot of times. So really, this is a major theme of the book as well. If you think about it, Pi initially was well off. His family was happy, but then his struggle started when he was in the ocean in the boat with the tiger. And really, that's a major theme: simplicity and struggle versus a life full of happiness and being well off.